The Alps are not just breathtaking landscapes. They are home to eerie legends and supernatural beings that have haunted villages for centuries. From ghostly spirits to terrifying monsters, today we uncover 10 of the most mysterious creatures from South Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Prepare for a journey into the unknown. The Tatzelwurm, also known as the stolen worm, is one of the most famous and feared cryptids of the Alpine region, particularly in Switzerland, Austria, and Bavaria. It is often described as a serpent-like dragon or giant lizard with feline features, a strange hybrid creature that has haunted local folklore for centuries. The Tatzelwurm has been part of Alpine folklore for centuries, with the earliest recorded mentions appearing in medieval manuscripts and later 18th and 19th century accounts. Shepherds and hunters claimed to have encountered the creature while roaming the mountains. Many reported that it lived in cave systems, hollowed-out trees, or abandoned mines, emerging only when disturbed. Swiss and Bavarian legends describe farmers finding mutilated livestock and blaming the Tatzelwurm. One of the most well-known reports comes from 1779, when a Swiss farmer named Hans Fuchs claimed he saw a serpent-like beast with the head of a cat before dying of a heart attack from fright. In 1908, a photograph allegedly showing a Tatzelwurm emerged, but its authenticity remains debated. In 1921, a Swiss man reportedly fought off a giant lizard-like creature in the Alps with a walking stick. Though never scientifically proven, these sightings cemented the Tatzelwurm's reputation as a lurking alpine terror. Descriptions of the Tatzelwurm vary, but some details remain consistent. It is often described as having a serpent-like body measuring between 1 to 2 meters in length. It has 2 stubby front legs, which give it a crawling movement, and a cat-like face with large, glowing eyes. Some accounts claim it can roar or hiss like a feline. Its scaly or slimy skin resembles a lizard, dragon, or worm. Many legends suggest that it emits a toxic breath or has a venomous bite, with some saying its breath can kill humans and animals instantly. While some versions depict it as having wings, most alpine tales focus on its snake-like slithering movement. The Tatzelwurm is believed to inhabit the high-altitude caves, forests, and isolated valleys of the Alps, particularly in regions such as the Bernese Alps, Valais, and Graubünden in Switzerland, Styria, and Tyrol in Austria, and the Bavarian Alps near Berchtesgaden in Germany. Some alpine woodcut illustrations from the 16th century depict similar creatures emerging from hidden underground layers, reinforcing the belief that the Tatzelwurm thrives in remote, rocky terrains. While there is no scientific evidence of the Tatzelwurm's existence, several theories attempt to explain the origins of the legend. Some researchers believe the Tatzelwurm could be a misidentification of real alpine animals such as giant salamanders, like the Chinese giant salamander, which can reach up to 1.8 meters in length. Others suggest it could be a type of legless lizard, such as the European glass lizard, or even otters or martens glimpsed briefly, creating the illusion of a strange hybrid creature. Another theory speculates that the Tatzelwurm might be a surviving prehistoric species, possibly related to extinct dragon-like monitor lizards from the Pleistocene era. Many folklorists, however, believe the Tatzelwurm represents alpine fears of the unknown, such as the dangers of the harsh mountain environment, the mystery of deep caves, or a symbolic representation of death or bad luck, used to scare children away from dangerous terrain. Despite being an old legend, the Tatzelwurm still appears in modern media and cryptid discussions. Switzerland even released a postage stamp featuring the creature in 2001, proving its deep cultural significance. It has also appeared in fantasy books and video games such as Monster Hunter, where creatures resembling the Tatzelwurm have been featured. Cryptozoologists and mystery enthusiasts continue to explore the Alps, searching for evidence of this elusive mountain dragon. The Tatzelwurm remains one of the most famous creatures in alpine folklore, with numerous sightings and legends passed down for generations. Some believe it could be a surviving prehistoric reptile. Others think it is simply a giant salamander mistaken for a dragon, while skeptics argue that it is merely a terrifying myth born from the fear of the unknown. Whether fact, fiction, or something in between, the mystery of the Tatzelwurm lives on, hidden in the fog-covered peaks of the Alps, waiting for the next witness. The Drude is a nightmarish hag-like spirit from German folklore, feared for its ability to invade dreams and torment sleepers. Described as a gaunt, terrifying old woman with long, clawed fingers and sunken, glowing eyes, the Drude is said to enter homes in the dead of night, sitting upon the chest of her victims and pressing down with unbearable weight. Those afflicted by her presence experience extreme sleep paralysis, a sensation of suffocation, and terrifying visions. Some legends even claim that the Drude can enter a person's body and control them, forcing them into madness. The origins of the Drude legend are deeply connected to Germanic and Alpine superstitions about sleep and the supernatural. In medieval times, people believed that witches and malevolent spirits could infiltrate dreams using dark magic to manipulate and harm their victims. The Drude was thought to be one such entity, targeting vulnerable individuals, particularly those who were weak, sickly, or had broken certain taboos. To protect themselves, villagers would place protective charms over their beds, such as iron nails, blessed symbols, or even special herbs known for warding off evil. One of the most eerie aspects of the Drude myth is its connection to real-world sleep paralysis, a phenomenon where a person is awake but unable to move, often experiencing hallucinations of a dark presence in the room. Many researchers suggest that tales of the Drude could be an early attempt to explain this terrifying sleep disorder, with sufferers interpreting their episodes as supernatural attacks. Unlike many spirits in folklore, the Drude is not a ghost or demon, but a unique entity in its own right. Some stories suggest that a Drude is a corrupted human soul, cursed to wander the world and feed off the fear of the living. Others claim that it is an ancient, malevolent force, an embodiment of the fears that lurk in the darkness. Some traditions hold that a Drude can be expelled by shouting its name 3 times, or by confronting it with a mirror, forcing it to see its own horrifying reflection. The Drude remains one of the most chilling figures in Germanic folklore, its legend surviving through centuries of whispered warnings and eerie bedtime tales. Whether it is merely a mythological explanation for sleep paralysis or something more, its haunting presence lingers in the shadows, waiting for the next unfortunate victim to fall under its spell. The Wolpertinge is a peculiar and mischievous creature from Bavarian folklore, often described as a hybrid of various animals, such as a rabbit with deer antlers, fangs, and wings. Said to inhabit the deep forests of Bavaria and the Alpine regions, the Wolpertinge is elusive, rarely seen except by those who venture into the woods at night. Though it is not considered dangerous, it is known for playing tricks on hunters and travelers, leading them astray or vanishing just as they get close. Many believe the Wolpertinge legend began as a humorous tale spread among hunters, and taxidermists in Bavaria have long created mounted specimens of the creature as souvenirs. Despite its likely origins as a joke, The Wolpertinger remains an enduring part of alpine folklore, with some locals still swearing to have seen it darting through the trees under the moonlight. The Perchten are fearsome supernatural beings from alpine folklore, deeply rooted in the midwinter traditions of Austria and Bavaria. They are divided into two types: the Schönperchten, or beautiful Perchten, who bring good fortune, and the Schiakperchten, or ugly Perchten, who serve as terrifying enforcers of moral order. These monstrous figures are often depicted with grotesque, demonic faces, large horns, and ragged fur-covered bodies. They roam the streets in wild processions during the Perchtenlauf, a festival that takes place between Christmas and Epiphany, where they rattle chains, swing whips, and drive out evil spirits. It is believed that the devil is the ugliest of all the Perchten. The origins of the Perchten are believed to be pre-Christian, linked to the goddess Perchta, a mysterious figure associated with the cycle of the seasons and the afterlife. She was said to reward the diligent while punishing the lazy, particularly during the 12 nights of Christmas. Over time, these legends merged with Christian traditions, and the Perchten became symbolic of the battle between good and evil, order and chaos. Today, the Perchtenlauf continues as a major folk tradition, with elaborate costumes and performances drawing crowds from all over. While many see the event as a thrilling spectacle, others believe that the Perchten still serve their ancient purpose, protecting villages from misfortune and ensuring that the old ways are not forgotten. The Alp is a malevolent spirit from German and Austrian folklore, known for creeping into bedrooms at night and tormenting sleeping victims. It is said to sit on a person's chest, pressing down with an unbearable weight, causing terrifying nightmares and a suffocating sensation. Unlike the Drude, which is always depicted as female, the Alp is often male and can shapeshift into various forms, including animals like cats, snakes, or birds. It is believed that the word nightmare, Albtraum in German, originates from these horrifying encounters. Some legends suggest that an Alp can slip through the smallest cracks, even entering homes through keyholes. Victims of an Alp attack often wake up feeling drained and exhausted, leading to its association with sleep paralysis. To ward off an Alp, people would place iron objects near their beds or sleep with their shoes pointing toward the door to confuse the creature and prevent it from attacking. Krampus is one of the most infamous figures in alpine folklore, a terrifying horned creature that serves as the dark counterpart to Saint Nicholas. Unlike the kindly saint, who rewards well-behaved children with gifts, Krampus punishes the naughty, beating them with birch sticks or even carrying them away in a sack to be drowned, eaten, or taken to the underworld. His fearsome appearance includes large, curling horns, glowing eyes, a long, pointed tongue, and a body covered in dark fur. Chains and bells rattle as he moves, a chilling warning of his approach. The origins of Krampus trace back to pre-Christian alpine traditions, possibly linked to pagan winter deities associated with punishment and reward. Over time, his legend merged with Christian customs, becoming an integral part of December celebrations in Austria, Bavaria, and other alpine regions. The night of December 5th, known as Krampusnacht, sees costumed performers donning monstrous masks and roaming the streets, reenacting the frightful legend by playfully scaring spectators and warning children to behave. Despite his terrifying nature, Krampus has become a beloved icon in modern culture, appearing in movies, books, and holiday celebrations beyond Europe. His story serves as a stark contrast to the warmth of Christmas, reminding everyone that misbehavior may come with a price. The Alperer is a mysterious and elusive figure from Swiss and Austrian folklore, said to be a spectral guardian of the high mountain pastures. He is believed to watch over cattle and shepherds, ensuring that ancient traditions are upheld. In some versions of the legend, the Alperer is seen as a benevolent protector, blessing the herds and guiding lost travelers to safety. However, other stories paint a darker picture, describing him as a ghostly figure who punishes those who disrespect the mountains or fail to honor the old ways. Often depicted as a shadowy man with a staff, the Alperer is said to appear at twilight, his presence accompanied by an eerie silence that unsettles even the bravest shepherds. Some accounts claim that he is the restless spirit of a former herdsman, forever bound to the alpine meadows he once tended. Others believe he is a supernatural being, neither good nor evil, but simply enforcing the balance of nature in the highlands. Though rarely seen, those who encounter the Alperer speak of an unsettling feeling, as if unseen eyes are watching. Shepherds still leave small offerings of bread or milk in remote pastures, honoring the Alperer and ensuring his favor. Whether a legend meant to keep mountain dwellers respectful of their environment or a lingering presence from a forgotten past, the Alperer remains one of the most enigmatic figures of alpine folklore. The Haalgeist, also known as the Haalgeist, is a spectral entity from German folklore, closely associated with salt springs and their guardianship. Originating in regions known for salt production, such as parts of Switzerland and Germany, the Haalgeist was believed to be a protective spirit that warned villagers of impending disasters, including floods, plagues, and fires. Legends say that this spirit lurked near salt springs, emerging to deliver cryptic warnings to those who approached. The Haalgeist is often described as a shaggy-haired goblin with a mischievous nature, enjoying crude jokes and laughter. However, it was considered unwise to mock him, as he was known for severe retribution against those who insulted him. In some tales, he is depicted as having an unusually large nose, and anyone who ridiculed it was thrown over the mountain as punishment. Unlike many ghostly entities, the Haalgeist was not purely malevolent. Some believed that he served as a guardian spirit, ensuring that salt, a valuable resource in ancient times, was not wasted or misused. His connection to salt highlights the deep cultural and economic significance of this mineral in alpine regions, where it was historically referred to as white gold. Even today, remnants of the Haalgeist legend persist in local folklore, and some old salt-producing regions still honor him in storytelling and cultural traditions. Whether seen as a spectral protector or a vengeful trickster, the Haalgeist remains one of the more enigmatic figures in alpine mythology, embodying the region's reverence for nature and its resources. The Nachtkrapp, or night raven, is a fearsome bird-like creature from South German and Austrian folklore, used for generations to frighten misbehaving children. Its name translates directly to night raven, but unlike ordinary birds, this shadowy entity is said to have a skeletal frame, enormous wings, and hollow, soulless eyes that glow in the dark. It is whispered that the Nachtkrapp stalks the night skies, searching for disobedient children who wander too far from home or refuse to go to bed when told. There are several variations of the Nachtkrapp legend, each with its own unique horrors. In some versions, the creature is said to snatch children from their beds, carrying them away to its hidden nest, where they are never seen again. In others, it does not take its victims, but instead perches near their windows, gazing in with its terrifying eyes until they fall into a restless, haunted sleep, filled with dreadful nightmares. Some tales claim that the Nachtkrapp does not eat flesh, but instead drains the life force of its victims, leaving them weak, pale, and unable to wake properly for days. The origins of the Nachtkrapp legend are uncertain, but it likely evolved from a combination of old European superstitions about birds being omens of death and the widespread fear of the unknown during the dark hours of the night. Ravens and crows have long been associated with death in many cultures, often seen as messengers of the underworld or carriers of lost souls. The Nachtkrapp could have been inspired by these beliefs and adapted into a cautionary tale to ensure that children obeyed their parents and stayed safe after dark. Even in modern times, echoes of the Nachtkrapp legend persist in rural areas of Germany and Austria. While most now consider it an old wives' tale, some still recall childhood warnings about the dreaded black bird that watches from the shadows. Whether a mythological boogeyman or a lingering relic of the past, the Nachtkrapp continues to loom over the folklore of the Alpine regions, its chilling presence a reminder of the fears that lurk in the night. Frau Holle is one of the most complex and fascinating figures in Germanic folklore, existing at the crossroads of fairy tales, local traditions, and ancient pagan beliefs. While most people today recognize her from the Grimm brothers' fairy tale, her origins stretch far beyond the world of children's stories, reaching deep into the spiritual and mythological past of Central Europe. The most well-known version of Frau Holle comes from the fairy tale collected by the brothers Grimm. In this story, a kind and hard-working girl falls into a well and finds herself in an enchanted realm where she meets Frau Holle, a motherly but powerful woman who rewards diligence and punishes laziness. The girl helps Frau Holle by shaking out her bedding, causing snow to fall upon the world above. After proving her virtue, she is rewarded with gold. Later, a greedy and selfish girl attempts to gain the same reward without showing effort. And instead of gold, she is covered in pitch. This fairy tale preserves some of the older beliefs about Frau Holle. She is depicted as a supernatural figure who controls the weather, particularly snow, which is said to fall when she shakes out her feather bed. This suggests a connection to an ancient goddess of nature and the seasons. Unlike many fairy tale characters, she is not strictly benevolent or malevolent. Rather, she is a force of balance, rewarding virtue and punishing vice. Beyond the fairy tale, Frau Holle appears in numerous regional traditions, especially in Hesse, Thuringia, and Bavaria, where she is deeply tied to the landscape itself. In Hesse, a mountain known as the Hoher Meissner is considered her sacred dwelling place. In some folk beliefs, she is associated with bodies of water, particularly wells and lakes, which were often seen as portals to otherworldly realms. Legends tell of Frau Holle emerging from such waters to interact with the human world, sometimes as a beautiful woman, other times as an old crone. Frau Holle is also connected to the traditions surrounding the Wild Hunt, a spectral procession of ghostly riders that storms through the skies during the winter months. In some versions, she leads this terrifying hunt, guiding lost souls and spirits of the dead through the night. This aspect of her aligns her with figures such as the Norse goddess Hel and the Germanic goddess Perchta, both of whom are associated with the underworld and the cycle of life and death. Many scholars believe that Frau Holle is a surviving remnant of an older pagan goddess, possibly linked to the pre-Christian goddesses of fertility, fate, and winter. Some theories suggest that she was originally a major mother goddess, responsible for the cycles of the seasons, protecting women, and overseeing domestic life. Her strong association with spinning and weaving, key symbols of fate in many mythologies, further supports this idea. She remains a beloved figure in folklore, and her influence persists in modern holiday customs and festivals. Even today, elements of Frau Holle's legend live on in Christmas and winter traditions throughout Germany and Austria. In some regions, she is believed to reward well-behaved children and punish the lazy during the 12 nights of Christmas. Her role as a winter figure who controls snowfall still finds echoes in popular imagination, making her one of the few ancient deities to retain a presence in modern culture. Frau Holle is a rare example of a folk figure who has survived multiple cultural transformations, from a possible pagan goddess to a fairy tale matron, from a winter spirit to a leader of the dead. Whether as a symbol of justice, a supernatural guardian, or a lingering echo of ancient belief, Frau Holle remains one of the most enigmatic and enduring figures in Alpine and Germanic folklore. These are just a few of the many eerie creatures lurking in the folklore of the Alpine and South German regions. Which one was the most fascinating? Have you heard of other strange beings from European folklore? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more myths, legends, and mysteries.